looks like you're healthy at this point of the season, which I think would be a blessing compared to previous years. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's nothing we want to try to talk about too much. I mean, we just glad to have everybody moving freely. I mean, probably Graham is out. He has been having some back spasms, but other than that, everybody else is pretty healthy and moving good.
You mentioned how, like, now that Scotty is gone, it enables you guys to play a different type of offense. Does that mean different, have you put in new sets, or how are you guys approaching, different style?
No, I don't think we haven't changed our sets or anything like that. I mean, we're still running most of the stuff that we run. Of course, every year we're going to add some things, add some different little wrinkles to try to account for the personnel, taking advantage of our personnel. But no, it's just the ball's just moving, quick, a little bit more. We're just really big on kind of 0.5, getting it out your hand, whether you're shooting it or passing it or putting it down to pull the trigger, to get in the paint, or do something else. We just don't want the ball to stick, and I think that's something with the type of shooting that we have. The quicker that we can move the ball, it's going to give those shooters better looks. So I'm looking forward to that. Again, I don't think our guys were ready. I think our development of some of our guys now from last year to now is a big reason why we can play the way that we want to play right now. I don't think they were ready to play that way last year. Tyron was coming back from from the ACL, so he didn't feel like himself until the end of the year, and you saw how he was able to get downhill and do some things for us. But for the most part of the year, we didn't really have that threat. So, of course, Scotty. He put the onus on him to try to pick up the slack. But I think we can do it more by committee this year, and I think with Ezra, we got. I said it before. We have a level of speed that we just haven't had on both sides of the ball, offensively and defense. He's really able to pull triggers and make the defense react. And defensively, he really gets in the ball and creates a lot of havoc on that end as well.
Talking about Ezra specifically, how's he acclimated to the locker room and to the program?
Ezra is an unbelievable human being. So I think that was never an issue for him. I mean, I think on our foreign trip, I just kind of just take note of little mental notes of things, and he's one of those guys that just kind of gravitates toward everybody. Sometimes I saw him with the freshmen, sometimes I saw him with the bigs. He was just a good kid, and I think from that standpoint, the guys are going to follow him. He's easy to follow because he has an even keel, even demeanor about himself, and he just goes out and works. I mean, he's tough. He was, got shaken up a couple weeks ago and got put in concussion protocol. But other than that, and that offered a great opportunity for Trey and some of our other guys to get some reps at the point while he was out. But you never know. Again, like I said, we're healthy right now, but during the course of the season, things can happen. So we want to continue to develop that depth at the point guard spot. And I feel really good about what Paul Lewis has done so far. Like I said, Trey's been getting some reps there. We'd like to get Noah Shelby a little more reps at the one, because it's really going to be tough at that two-guard slot with Tyron. Us moving Jordan up there sometimes to create some room for some of our forwards to slide up to three, trying to get Miles Studi some rep at the three. He's doing a good job with that, but he's still, I think his best attribute for us is being able to shoot the ball. And, the fourth spot is a really big spot for us to get good looks at.
Outside of Tyron, are there other players who you think have really developed a lot in the offseason?
Yeah, I think all of our guys have gotten better. Like I said, Trey's put on a good amount of weight. Again, Tyron put on 19 pounds of muscle. That's a huge number from where he was. It just shows that, he wasn't focusing on his knee anymore. But Colin Smith has done a lot of things right for us early on as a freshman. Miles Keefe has done a lot of good things for us early on. Malik Dia is probably, just talent-wise, the most talented player might be on the team. And he doesn't even know how to play yet. But I mean, it's just, I think his upside is tremendous. Lee Dort is a rock. A young guy. I mean, we're talking about freshmen that's coming in and having an impact. But again, the leadership of our our core guys, our older guys, are still going to be what we rely on early on. That's who we are. I think we're trying to build that hierarchy of allowing our older guys to come in and do what they're supposed to do. But you got some young guys that's knocking on the door and really pushing them, and I think that's just going to make our team overall make us better.
Kind of like Tyron and Liam hadn't played in like almost a year when he came back last season. Have you seen him sort of getting closer to that Minnesota form, or where do you think he's at?
Yeah, I mean, he's been having some really good practices. He's shooting the ball better. I think it was tough. He had some good looks that he didn't knock down last year, but I think he's had this summer really been working on the shot, trying to get him on the block some more, not necessarily to try to throw jump hooks and hook shots. I think he's a guy that can face up and with his size and still get good looks at the basket. But even more so, I think his reads out of the post has gotten better. We obviously want him to go to work when they got single coverage, but we like to look at our splits. We like to look at things on the weak side first before they do that. And I think him being able to make good easy passes to cutters as he's gotten better at that, and that's something that not only helps him, once they go single coverage, but it helps us, get easy baskets.
What are your thoughts on using, say, Q and Liam at the same time, or maybe Dort in that bunch? Not exactly modern basketball, but you got some assets in the paint, some guys that can make giving off shots trouble. How much do you want to use maybe two of those guys at the same time?
Well, I just think it's about, finding that balance of where we can, use that lineup and maybe take advantage on the offensive boards. But one of those guys is going to probably have to guard a smaller player. And, a lot of teams in the SEC play with more of a, athletic perimeter four. So I think that we'll find some spots and against some teams where they'll have some big lineups, and we'll have a package for that. But I think the strength of our team, I said again, is built around our four-man being a stretch four and being able to stretch the floor. So we want to, and that just keeps driving lanes open. And I think when you start putting those guys together, they're going to be able to slack off one of them. And so it's, again, those are things that we're in-game adjustments or during a scout that we see that we could use that package. But it's definitely something that we work on and we'll be prepared for.
How good do you think you guys can be on defense? Like, I think you've never really had, when you've been here, center depth like what you have right now.
Yeah, I mean, we got some big bodies, guys that can protect the rim, but it really starts on the perimeter, making sure that we can close out and make not allow easy three-point shots, but still protect the paint at a high level. And, but I think our defense is who we are. I mean, there's no question about that, and I think that's going to be the deciding factors on how minutes get distributed. We got a lot of guys that can do some things offensively, especially the way we play and the way we share it. I feel very confident and comfortable that we'll make shots. So the separator is going to be how can you rebound the basketball for us on both ends, offensively and defensively, and how you defend and understand what we're doing within our schemes on the defensive end. That's how you earn minutes.
Jerry, what kind of team will we see on the court this year?
I think we got the versatility to play some different ways. I mean, I said it before. I think even our bigs, I think we're running. We have an opportunity if we rebound the basketball. I think we hadn't put that's something that we harped on today in film session, that we're not getting enough guys going to the offensive boards that we want, and they're doing it in spurts, and we're not getting enough going to hit somebody to box out on the defensive round. I think our defense is going to be stout. We're going to push teams into taking tough shots, but now we got to secure those rebounds. It's so deflating when you allow those offensive rebounds. But if we get it out, I think we got guys that can really get up the floor and give us some easy opportunities. But nothing's changed. We're going if we don't have anything like that, we're going to work the defense and try to move and let the ball find the best shot. And when the ball does that, it normally gravitates to the better players, and we'll have our better players taking those shots.
With Saban, Aaron, Scotty about to start their NBA seasons, how much pride does that give you as a coach to see those guys thriving at the next level?
Oh man, it's a lot of pride. I mean, obviously, these guys, you talk about those guys that's in the NBA, but even the guys that's overseas that we've been able to touch. I think Rodney's in Denmark. So it's things I think, just guys like that, all of them. I think we just want them to go there and play the right way and do those things that they've learned here. But we're super proud of those guys. I mean, I think it's a fresh start for Aaron in Indianapolis. He's with a guy that I played for, Rick Carlisle, who I think is going to be great for him. And I think when he was in Boston, a lot of things was just kind of, around Tatum and Brown, and he just kind of got the scraps. I think now he's going to get some sets run from him where he knows, when the ball is coming to him, and he can be prepared to be who he is and knock down shots. But, Saban, he has a change of scenery, going out to Utah. But I think, that's it's a lot of things up in the air. They're kind of in a rebuild system, so he has an opportunity to really make a mark for himself. And Scotty, he's with that group that's kind of a little long in the tooth. So I think they're looking for someone to inject some energy in that. I know he's going to play in the G League, quite a bit, especially with the depth that they just picked up with Beverly and and Schroeder. But still, I think there's room for him to come in and learn from all that experience that's in that locker room and be able to be better from that, going down the road.
Something specific you guys are doing here in this program that allows guys to step in like that?
Yeah, I mean, we play a spread offense. We play, again, like I said, there's not a lot of, two guys in the post. So I think that spacing, the understanding time and how we defend, it's going to flow well, especially with D-Ham's system. And me and D-Ham are kind of kindred souls when it comes to that. It's one of my favorite people ever, period, basketball, life, or whatever. And I think he's, we have a lot of the same philosophy. So I think Scotty's going to thrive there. And so I'm looking forward to him having, getting better there too. Again, like I said, they say the 10,000 hour rule, right? I'm saying? I think in the 10,000 reps, even if you go to college for 4 years, you're probably still at maybe 2,000 of that 10,000. So he's still got a lot of growth, but I think he's in a great development, with a great development coach that's going to help him get better, even though they're an older team. And I know it's going to be big on trying to rest those guys during the season. Those young guys are still going to get the work that they needed to kind of keep the train going.
What do you guys need to do collectively on offense to succeed, without Scotty?
Continue to move the ball. That's what we've been preaching this whole preseason. Move the ball, get it moving. We know we can shoot the 3 ball, so just getting the ball to our shooters and going from there.
You got a stretch. I think it was Belmont and Kentucky, maybe 2 games in a row. You scored 50 points and barely missed a shot. What did you learn? What did you get in self-confidence from that spell?
Yeah, I was just in a really good rhythm. Coach told me the whole season I was pretty much in a slump for a little while, but he told me I was going to show up when I needed us most, when I needed the team most. So that's what happened. I just got a good rhythm and went from there.
What positions, in terms of the split, are you expecting to play? Because Stack said you could play some 2, which you haven't done a ton of last time.
Yeah, whatever I'm asked. I mean, I know all the positions. I've been here long enough to know everything. I know the system in and out. So whatever I'm asked of to do that night, that's what I'll do.
You think you'll play any point guard?
Hopefully.
How excited are you to get the season going?
I'm ready. I'm super excited. This team is really fun. It's fun to be around. We have a lot of good chemistry. Guys really like to be around each other, so I'm excited, super excited.
What do you think of Colin Smith?
I love him. I love his game. He's a really good guy. Great for the locker room. He's really been impressive in these practices throughout the entire summer and in Italy as well. He can do a little bit of everything. He can handle the ball. He can shoot the ball, rebound, defend. So versatility is the key to the game right now.
Jordan, how much do you talk to Scotty and Aaron and Saban about playing at the next level? I'm sure that's your end goal as well.
Yes, for sure. I talk with Scotty the most. Talk to him the most pretty much every day, especially with him kicking off training camp right now. We talk pretty much every day. Text. He asks me how I'm doing. I ask him how he's doing. I talk to Saban and Aaron pretty often too. Aaron was just down here, so I got the chance to connect with him and talk. So just having those guys around is definitely the motivation for me, seeing them do it, go through what they've been through. So definitely motivation.
Is there something specific that Stack is doing here that you think allows guys to develop to get to that NBA level?
For sure. You're in a pro system from day one. The terminology, Scotty and Aaron and Saban have all talked about is pretty much the same. He said the learning curve is a lot smaller for those guys because they've been in this system and development that we have with the coaching staff, and they put us in position to succeed.
Liam, when he came back last year, he hadn't played in a basketball game in like 11 months. and that's difficult, right? What are you seeing from him in terms of steps that maybe he's taking forward?
Just getting stronger, just getting confidence in his foot, getting confidence in his ability again, getting back to who he was before that injury, just regaining that confidence. He's a whole different person now, who he was, just feeling himself a little bit more now, it's been good for him.
How's the competition been at the 5 spot? I mean, you got 2 other guys who are big and can play. You haven't really had that since you've been here. How much does that help you grow as a player?
I think it's really great this year having Liam fully healthy now, bringing in Lee. It's been really good for the 5 spot, I think, for us. Just every day it's like they mix it in. Liam's got really good shooting ability on the outside, so it forces me to guard out there. And Lee's a big, strong body on the inside. So I think all of us push each other in different ways, and it's been really helpful for all of us.
How do you think the offense is going to look different this year?
Definitely going to be really different without Pip. He brought a lot of scoring, but I think that we got some good pieces that are coming in. We have Ezra, who can really distribute the ball really well. We got Noah, who can really shoot the ball. We got dudes who are going to come in, and we're all just going to fill in those gaps that were created when Scotty left. But, I think we're going to have a really good team this year, too.
I know Lee is very much still learning, but it seems like, in Europe, he would have 8 rebounds in 10 minutes or whatever. What do you think of him so far, and how do you think he has maybe developed since he got on campus?
I think with Lee, it's just a lot of learning the basketball IQ, just a lot of his development that I've watched over this summer has just been picking up the defense. It's a really hard defense. The bigs are asked to do a lot. We're asked to blue the ball up in the half court. We're asked to guard the post. We're asked to do all different things, and it's been a big, it's a lot for Lee because he's never done it before. Stack's got a really tough system, but he's been making really good strides this summer. So I think that by the time we get to season and then SEC play, he'll be starting to get really comfortable with playing that defense, playing the offense, just finding his own rhythm in there. So
Liam's been hurt a lot of time he's been here. Now that you're practicing against him and presumably he's in much better health, what are the things that he gives you maybe this year that you couldn't a year ago?
Last year we asked him to come back against Kentucky in the SEC play. His conditioning wasn't what it could have been, after being off for a whole year. So I think that him being in better shape this year, he'll be able to run the floor a lot better. He'll be able to hit those shots when he gets tired a little better. I think that just overall he's got a whole lot more in his tank to give us this year. So.
How excited are you to get the season started?
Pardon?
How excited are you to get the season
I'm
started?
super excited. I can't wait to play Memphis. I think that it's going to be a really good test for us, being the very first game. And I think that it's just going to set the tone for the rest of the season.